have a few questions and comments that have come for the last few months since I did the last Q&A, so I wanted to just kind of answer some of these questions. The first one is from Electrobot. She's asking, won't the glue wash off from constant dipping? Most glue sticks are made with water-soluble glues. And what she's talking about is that I made a video explaining on how to prepare a new calligraphy brush. And what I do is that I tie a piece of string at the heel of the brush and I attach that with glue. And I don't use any fancy glue. All I use is an Elmer's glue stick. You can probably see here how I attach that string to the heel of the brush. And I don't know, I've been doing this for years and no strings has ever come off. You figure that with constant washing and inking that, yeah, the glue was gonna come off, but I haven't had any problems with it. Lunamat7 is asking, I have been looking for a book of Zen koans and sayings, but the ones I mostly find are books about koans or people's interpretation. Do you have any book suggestions? Well, koans are these kind of Zen riddles that are used in Zen teaching, specifically in the Rinzai sect of Zen Buddhism. So you will learn about those koans when you're training in Zen through a center or a temple. Your teacher will probably use the koans as part of their lectures and teaching. So that's how most people know about the koans. Yes, there are books out there about the koans, but like you said, the books are mostly just a collection of the koans and maybe some interpretations or maybe some commentaries from the author. So I don't know about a book about sayings. A lot of the Zen calligraphies that have like a sentence or a saying is basically a sentence taken from the koans, and the calligraphy is just that, and it represents the teaching from that specific koan. The collection of koan that's most used in Rinzai Zen teaching is called the Mumonkan, or the Gateless Barrier. And there are tons of books. You can Google the Mumonkan online and you can find it and read all the verses. But a book that I really liked and I've been reading lately is this one right here. And it's the Gateless Gate, it's the Mumonkan, but this is the version by Koun Yamada. And the reason I like this one is because I really like the author, Yamada, explanations and interpretations of the koan. But you're not supposed to find an answer to the koan through a book. You know, you're supposed to find the answer to the koan during meditation. Ala Biggie, what's the difference between Zen style and Gyosho style? Ala, there's many differences, but if you want to define Zen calligraphy, it's calligraphy that is done within the Zen spirit, and it is done with the same exact mind and mentality that you would do sitting. So when you sit in meditation, your intention, your mindset is the same as when you do calligraphy. Gyosho is just a writing style of calligraphy. Oscuri, are the kanjis linked to the etymology of Esteban and Martinez, or did you pick them according to the nearest sound from the katakana? See, he's asking about the kanjis from my name, and I chose the kanjis for my name specifically because that was the pronunciation based on the katakana. I translated the name phonetically, and these were the katakana, and then I just found kanjis that match those phonetic sounds. I have a question. I may have an answer. May other characters be bigger and occupy more space? I mean, may I write first 3 ones in the same size and bigger than others? This is a comment on the video that I made about the shikishi boards, and I explained how I choose a composition where one character is bigger and the other ones are smaller. And if you're asking, may other characters be bigger and occupies more space? I mean, I guess you can. It all depends on what your interpretation is and what your composition wants to be. I didn't invent that composition. That composition is being used by many Zen calligraphers in the past. If you were going to change that composition and start doing, you know, big and small, as long as it looks balanced, yeah, I mean, go for it. Natalie Bulky, I love your channel, thank you. I like how you edit your videos, thank you. What camera do you use? Did you ever live in Japan? No, I have never lived in Japan. For the cameras, right now I'm using a Nikon 5300. It's okay, I like it fine. Most of the time I also use my iPhone. Sometimes, you know, setting up the camera is kind of a hassle. Naniko, my brushstrokes have been practicing on and off for a few years and still ugly. How do I get the strokes to cooperate? Practice? I don't know what else to tell you. You gotta practice. Practice every day. Practice over and over and over. I mean, the more practice, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. And if you think that the strokes still look ugly, I mean, I don't know how much you're practicing. Maybe you are practicing 24/7 and the strokes still look ugly. So maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe the strokes are not actually ugly. You're just being too hard on yourself. I don't know. It's kind of hard to give you a feedback without seeing your work. So. But if you're saying that you've been practicing for a few years, you know, is that consistent? You've been practicing for a few years consistently, or if you've been practicing for a few years on and off. I mean, me, I've been practicing for a while now, and even if I spend a lot of time without practice, I get rusty and things don't start to look as good. It's only been when I've been doing the monthly challenges, when I brush calligraphy every day for a whole month, or I'm doing a series of videos when I'm practicing a lot, or I have commissions, which I'm practicing a lot, then I feel like my calligraphy really looks really good, and that's when I do my best work. But if it's a time like this fall, for example, when I get busy with other stuff in my life, like work and family, and I'm not in the studio very much, when I try to do calligraphy or try to practice, I can see that things starting to look rusty. And the last question is from Ukira, which she's asking, what are the importance of the 8 basic strokes that you usually mention? Usually, I talk about this all the time. Yeah, the 8 basic stroke is the base of my course, Intro to Japanese Calligraphy. And that is because I think that that is the bread and butter. That is the fundamentals of calligraphy. The concept around this teaching, and again, this is not anything original to me. That's how I learned it from my teacher, and a lot of Shodo practitioners, that's what they learn. And the teaching is called the Eiji Happo, or the 8 basic strokes of Eiji. So the concept of that is that the character of A, which is this one right here, which means eternity, is composed of all the basic strokes that are found in all kanji. So if you can brush this guy, you can brush any kanji. So that's why I talk about this guy a lot. And I still, to this day, brushing A is my warm-up. Every time I have to do a commission, every time I have to do a video, every time I'm doing calligraphy for anything else, or just common practice, I brush A over and over and over again. It's my warm-up, so to speak, because it's so important, and you can never get to the bottom of it. You can never get to the core of how useful it is to compose this guy and to learn how all the strokes flow together. So that's why I talk about A lot, and I make a whole course based on this guy. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Q&A. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.